Welcome back to the Washington Wild Things pregame show here on the Wild Things Baseball Network. Kyle Dawson joined at this time by the 13th year manager of the Southern Illinois Miners, Mike Pinto, who's also the winningest manager in Frontier League history. First of all, thanks for taking a couple minutes today. I really appreciate it to join me for the pregame show. But tell me a little bit about your background. I know from reading stuff, I obviously know a little bit about you, but our fans may not know much about you and kind of where you brought up and into the Frontier League here.
Well, it's been certainly a pleasure. I had the rare opportunity to build something from the ground up here in Southern Illinois, and I had managed in Sioux Falls for a couple years in the American Association. Had been a coach in the American Association, then with the Joliet Jackhammers back when it was the Northern League, and had been a college coach before that. And Southern Illinois came up, and I went in on a presentation, brought a book, literally a book, as to how do you build an organization from the ground up, what are the important characteristics, how would I do it, and I built a 5-year plan and was fortunate enough that they gave me the opportunity to do that.
Oh, and you've been here for 13 seasons now, and I understand it's also your 4th year as the COO, correct?
Right.
What kind of dynamic is that like? Obviously, you have your duties as the manager and everything on the field, but then you've got the off-the-field stuff too.
Yeah, it's a rare job, and John and Jane Simmons, who own our team, are visionaries, and they look for vision, and approached me now 4 years ago and said, we'd like you to consider taking on the role of COO. And my first reaction was, well, I don't want to be a general manager. And they said, no, you keep baseball, but we think you have a different view on how things could be here, and we would like to see that operate. So I've been very fortunate. I have the best job in baseball. I work with the single best owners I could possibly have. I'm a really lucky guy.
On your bio on the website, it talks about your focus being on kind of creating a Disney-like atmosphere and a big fan atmosphere. That's a big part of everywhere in the Frontier League. But talk a little bit about that dynamic and what you guys try to do here that maybe people don't see at other Frontier League ballparks.
Well, my business background had been in branding and brand strategy. And so when I took this responsibility on, I said, well, who's the very best at creating a fan experience or a customer experience? And that was Disney. So we invested the money and time, and I went down and went through the Disney Institute, which is a thing they have for executives to train as to what is the Disney way. In other words, how would you run your business like Disney does? And I came back with legal pads full of notes, and the tough part was there were so many. How do I implement them, and which ones can I do right away, and which ones can we build over time?
What makes this league so special? What keeps you coming back, whether it's on the field or even the stuff off the field? Because obviously that's pretty rewarding to see people have the experience that they do.
Well, first of all, I love the league. This is a place where dreams really do come true. You know, I look at, we've had 3 players here that were here in the Frontier League that reached the big leagues. I think we're at 56 guys now, or 57 guys now that have left here and gone to organizations, and we've been the conduit that allowed that to happen. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of.
We talk about exactly that. I wanted to bring up Nick Duran. Obviously, this year he isn't the only guy in the last couple of years for you guys, but that's a pretty special player to be moving on to the next level, and it came right after you were at our place last week.
Yeah, he really is. First of all, not only is he a special talent with an electric arm, but he's every bit as wonderful a human being as he is a player. And so we're hoping for really great things for him. He's a wonderful guy, and that arm should play. 98 plays.
Yep, it does. I wanted to ask you about that type of thing too, because I know you guys have a different atmosphere here, and not necessarily in a bad way, but in a good way, because you're trying to create good people too and make sure that they're having that experience and growth as a human also on the baseball field as well.
Yeah, and that's not a fit for everybody who's coming to independent ball, but it's something we've wanted to do. First of all, we wanted a legacy, guys to be a part of something bigger than them. We wanted guys to feel that once they were a part of this, they were always a part of this. I've used the term for years, always a minor. And, I hear from guys constantly, guys who have been part of this, and now 13 years later, who now have children who are getting to the point where they're serious baseball players. One of our former guys, Chris Little, had a son when he was here, and Christian now is a top signee with Vanderbilt and a very top pick, and so it's wonderful to watch their families grow up. It's been a very cool thing.
I want to jump to today. Chase Cunningham, former Wild Thing, we obviously know him pretty well, is going to throw tonight for you guys. I just want to get your thoughts on it. I know you were very interested in him for years and trying to get him here. What's the process with him been like, and how awesome has he been this year?
Well, I certainly I saw a competitor in him. I saw a guy who every 5 days would give me a chance to win. That's all I think as a manager you can ask of a starting pitcher, is put us in the best position to win. And he does that, and has been doing that for how many years now. And so between that and character, I thought he was a very good fit for us character-wise. And so I was fortunate that he wanted to be closer to home, and that Tony would be willing to do a trade. We hated losing Nick Durazo, but good trades, you give up fair value for fair value. And so we wish Nick the best, and love him, wish he was here, but we thought our need really was we needed a starting pitcher every 5 days that could do that.
I'm glad you brought Nick up. That was the next thing I was going to ask you. What did you see in him last year that made him such a valuable commodity to go over in that trade?
Well, first of all, he's a bulldog personality. He competes out there. He has a good arm. He has a good off speed to be able to get lefties particularly, and had a great year for us. It was not something where I'm looking to shop Nick Durazo. It was like, I got to give up Nick Durazo in order to get Chase Cunningham. And so there was nothing that we didn't like about Nick. He was a great fit here. But we're really happy we have Chase.
We're talking to Mike Pinto, the 13th year skipper of the Miners, before today's middle game. We were here last year when you had your ceremony for the all-time winningest manager in league history, and I remember that being a really cool ceremony. I just want to get your thoughts on what that honor was like when you passed Fran and have that ceremony and everything else.
It was really special, and I mean, including getting a video from Fran. And we had some wars. The only championship I have is it was against the then Florence Freedom when he was the manager, and he's gone on to do some really wonderful things in the A's organization. But it was a great night, and I was really appreciative to all the players that made that happen. I didn't win those games. Players won those games. Coaching staffs are doing extra work with guys, coming in early, going through scouting reports, and so it takes a village to win baseball games. And we have one here, both in the players that have been here, the coaches that are here, the front office that, creates. Our players have the best of everything in order to be able to have success every day. And so, as I said at the beginning, I get the best job in baseball.
I can get you out with this because I know you have stuff to do and we have stuff to do getting ready for the game. But what's been this might be open-ended too, been the biggest, most rewarding experience for you as the manager or as the COO, in your time with the Miners?
Probably different things. From the player's standpoint or on the baseball side, the relationships that I've made with guys that are still friends. Mikey Scanzano, who from our first year, and I hear from him all the time, and I'll just get a text, Mike, I want to come in, I want some orange slices out of your candy drawer, and I'll get stuff like that. From a business side, we've been able to do a lot of cool new things, and having the owner that will help us fund those kind of things and trust my judgment to put a new video board in, the entertainment area down in the corner, the four-top seating down below, the bar behind home plate. Those are all renovations we've done in the last few years. The investment in me and our staff in a Disney philosophy here. It's very rewarding to be able to help grow a business that way.
Well, you've got a beautiful ballpark, and I think that you guys have one of the better shows around and putting together all the entertainment. So I congratulate you for that. And it's really fun to come here. We enjoy coming to Rent One Park. So I'll get you out with that. I appreciate the time.
It. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
I don't think I've been on with an opposing team in years. So thanks for having me.
Trying to get you on. That is Mike Pinto, the 13th year manager of the Southern Illinois Miners. We'll have first pitch and the lineups coming up for you next here on the Wild Things Baseball Network.